Here it is, your Massachusetts first-time home buyer crash course. I want to try and simplify the process for you a little bit. Let's get right into it. Let me speed through the introduction. I'm Craig Power with Power Realty Advisors. I'm a real estate broker and I work primarily in Boston and on the South Shore. I love working with first-time home buyers. I really do consider it a privilege to be a part of someone's first home purchase. As cheesy as that sounds, it's actually true. So I have to say right out of the gate, if you are looking to buy a home around Boston or on the South Shore and you need a real estate agent, you can contact me through our website or links in the description below, or you can just email me at craig@powerrealtyboston.com. This is my entire business. You're looking at it. I'd be genuinely thrilled to hear from you. I'm breaking this down to 6 parts. So part 1 of the first-time home buyer crash course, we are going to call this pre-approval, the pre-approval stage. Really, this first stage is just a review of finances. I'm going forward with the assumption that you are making this purchase with a mortgage, meaning you are going to need to get a loan, right? When you start going out viewing homes, your real estate agent would probably like it if you are already pre-approved. So what is a pre-approval? A pre-approval is a preliminary assessment of your borrowing power. Your borrowing power depends on, I'd say, 4 key items. I usually classify it as 4 key items: your income, your debt, your assets, and your credit. Those make up the criteria for ultimately how much house you can afford. The average down payment on a home really falls anywhere between 3.5% and 20% down. For a first-time buyer today, I'd put that really anywhere between 3.5% and 10%. You know, your down payment affects the type of loan you can get. It affects how much house you can afford, right? And if you are putting less than 20% down, you'll be required to pay a mortgage insurance premium, which is an unfortunate expense. You may have heard of PMI, right? So far and away, the first-time buyers I work with today are putting less than 20% down. So everyone's stuck paying this, including myself. Welcome to the club. Now, as your real estate agent, I don't pre-approve you. This is all done with a mortgage lender. I could certainly refer you to one. As you go through the home buying process, you're kind of building a team around you. You know, real estate agent, mortgage lender, real estate attorney, home inspector. The real estate agent and the mortgage lender are the first 2 members of your team. That's all you need for now. The mortgage lender is going to work with you on the financials, while the agent is really your guide and your market expert. I also feel, as your real estate agent, I'm responsible for helping you build that team, right? I'm a facilitator. It tends to be, the team is only as good as its worst player. So as someone who is guiding you from beginning to end in this process, I want to make sure you're in good hands. The mortgage lender is going to review your finances and give you a pre-approval letter. This is a conditional approval for a loan of a certain amount. So congratulations, you are pre-approved. Now let's go see some houses. Let me sneak in here quickly. I'm not getting into the weeds with different loan types, but I can link our old video about FHA versus conventional loans here. And basically, I'm gonna link a bunch of my other videos as resources as we go along, so you can dive deeper on any of these topics. This is a crash course, so it's 30,000 foot view. I think that's the expression, 30,000 foot view. Part 2 is the hunt. Let's go see some houses. We got your pre-approval in hand, and let's get you linked up with a real estate agent, preferably me, but I guess there are a lot of us. In real estate, there are buyer's agents and seller's agents. It's as simple as, if you're representing a buyer in a deal, you're a buyer's agent. If you're representing a seller, you're a seller's agent. As the buyer, you do not pay to have an agent. The real estate commission actually comes out of the seller's proceeds later. You are going to discuss your criteria with your buyer's agent. You might collaborate with them on some online search tools. Perfect, right? You can view homes either during open houses or by your agent setting private appointments. Hopefully you have good chemistry with your agent, right? That is important. They're gonna have you sign a buyer representation agreement. Side note, my advice in the early going, when you're looking at houses, get out there and see things in person. You know, you often won't get the full story from pictures online. If you haven't gotten out there and put your eyes on a few properties beforehand, you know, you won't be able to identify a good value when it's staring you in the face, okay? This is the same advice I give to new agents who have trouble with market analysis. You have to see things in person. And here's the key to me. If you have seen what's out there, if you have a good amount of showings under your belt, it's only going to give you confidence when the right house pops up. You'll be mentally prepared to go after it. Sometimes people get stuck looking at houses thinking, what am I supposed to be looking for, right? You're going through a showing. What am I supposed to be looking for? What am I supposed to be doing right now? You know, I usually tell people to focus on their gut, but they have that thought. What am I supposed to be looking for? You know, I love this space, but how do I know this place isn't built out of toothpicks, right? Well, you'll be able to rely on a professional home inspection as part of your purchase. We aren't there yet. That's part 4 of this video. We will get there shortly, I promise. So backtracking, part 1 is the pre-approval and review of finances. Part 2 is the actual house hunting. Now we're at part 3, which is the offer stage. You've seen a house you want to buy and you're making an offer on it. This is how it works, okay? Your offer is a written document. It's a template that your real estate agent will have. In it, you will be explaining the purchase price that you're offering, the size of your down payment, the potential closing date, and especially any contingencies, right? This is an important term for you, contingencies. A contingency is an additional detail of your offer, a conditional part of the offer. There are a few common ones. The mortgage contingency, for example, right? This means you're not penalized later if you aren't able to get a mortgage. You know, your loan falls through maybe because you lost your job, sort of a bit of protection for your deposits on that. The home inspection contingency, this is a big one. This gives you the ability to conduct a professional home inspection and potentially pull out of the purchase if the results aren't satisfactory. More on that in a minute. I'm gonna link another video here, a much more informative deep dive on the Massachusetts offer to purchase paperwork. It may be good for you as a buyer just to soak that in. You know, again, keeping a broad perspective here. The reality of this real estate market is you may be offering on a number of homes before you get an offer accepted. Right now, we are in what's called a seller's market. There are a lot of home buyers and not many sellers. It's a low inventory environment. It may very well be this way for a long time. There is sometimes a bidding war element to the home buying process now. A house gets put up for sale on Thursday, you see it online, they do open houses Saturday and Sunday, they tell people to have offers in by Monday, and Monday they accept an offer, it's gone like that. This is important to understand because there's a level of competition in the real estate market where the details of your offer are important, not just purchase price, but today people will try to set a schedule, closing schedule based on the seller's needs. They'll write nice letters to the seller as part of the offer. Some people waive home inspections, which I do not recommend to a first-time buyer. But yeah, any offer negotiation will be relayed through the seller's agent and your buyer's agent. You'll get info through them. And hopefully you'll get an accepted offer, which will be an amazing feeling. That's a huge step and really a huge accomplishment. It's a huge accomplishment, especially today. Before moving ahead to part 4, when your offer gets accepted, you will immediately owe what's called your earnest money deposit. Usually it's a $1,000 check cut to the seller's agent, their brokerage. You can do more or less theoretically, right? You don't have to be cutting a $1,000 check, but $1,000 is sort of the amount you see. So earnest money deposit to bind the offer, $1,000 due right away, not to be a buzzkill after your accepted offer, which is going to be very exciting. I can tell you that's my favorite call to make, calling to give a first-time buyer that good news. Next up, part 4, I'm calling this due diligence, okay? Still a lot to do. Congratulations on your accepted offer, but still a lot to do. Let me give you a short list and then we'll break it down piece by piece. You have to conduct the home inspection, order the appraisal, do legwork on obtaining your mortgage, enlist a real estate attorney, and sign the purchase and sale contract. It sounds like more than it actually is. The biggest box to check here is the home inspection. Don't even worry about the other stuff before this. All right, that's at least how I operate. You'll call a professional licensed home inspector and get it scheduled. You'll have a limited time to do it because you'll have a limited window to back out of the deal as part of your home inspection contingency, okay? So your inspection really should be done within 7 to 10 days of your offer being accepted. The sooner the better. Also here in part 4, your mortgage lender is going to order the appraisal and make sure the ball is rolling with everything you need to obtain a mortgage. You don't really have to do anything here with the appraisal. But okay, so what's an appraisal, right? Your mortgage lender is going to send out a professional appraiser to look at the property you're buying. This individual is basically an objective third party, and their job is to determine the appraised value of the property. Why is this important? Well, the mortgage lender is a bank or works for a bank, and the bank gives you a loan. And the bank, if they're giving you a loan, they want to make sure you're not way overpaying for this property. They don't want to loan you more money than the property is worth. Because God forbid, if you don't make the payments, they foreclose on you and now it's their property. I hope this makes sense. Either way, an appraisal is just an independent valuation of the property. For now, let's leave it at that. Still here in part 4, due diligence, legwork on obtaining your mortgage. It's pretty simple, right? So in order to give you the loan, the mortgage lender needs to see or verify certain things. These are the steps beyond pre-approval. They may need recent pay stubs, old tax forms. Later they'll do employment verification, stuff like that. And at this point, you'll be in steady communication with them. And then we move on to enlisting your real estate attorney and signing the purchase and sale contract. Remember, we're building that team of people around you. I recommend all my clients enlist an attorney at this phase. Your new real estate attorney will represent you as the purchase and sale contract is drafted. You hear a lot about writing offers. You hear a lot about closings. You don't hear a lot about the purchase and sale contract. The P&S really outlines all the more specific terms of the sale. It's more detailed than an offer, right? It is pages long, talking about the delivery of the premises, when you move in, et cetera, et cetera. You and your real estate attorney will just, dot your I's, cross your T's. There's a reason I call this section due diligence, right? You'll sign and the seller will sign. I should mention that your real estate attorney is also going to represent you later through the closing as well. Now that we've handled due diligence, we move on to part 5, approval. Due diligence is over. This is more exciting again. I'm more excited if you can't tell. No more boring due diligence stuff. Part 4 sucks. It's just busy work. Part 5 gets cool again. So weeks have gone by. These are the final days before closing. Hopefully your loan has been officially approved and you're approved as a borrower. Congrats again. And we have the clear to close from all parties. The attorneys are linked up, right? Loan's good. We're scheduling a time for your closing. We're getting the utilities in your name. We're figuring out the final settlement and how much money you need to bring to the closing table. So I'm listing off a lot of things, but this is the approval stage leading up to closing. In the 24 hours before your closing, you are going to do a final walkthrough of the property with your agent. I always like to go to those. The house should be vacant and in good condition, or really it should just be in whatever condition you are agreed to receive it in. Assuming that walkthrough goes well, we advance to part 6, closing, big day. You get the keys, you pass papers, you sign an initial 8,000 times. The house is not yours until the deed is signed, delivered, and recorded with the local registry of deeds. That usually, in my experience, takes a couple hours after you leave the closing table, but that's the full timeline anyway. Congratulations on buying yourself a little piece of the American dream. You did it. Here's a bonus, part 7. Let's briefly talk about the financial advantages of being a first-time home buyer. And you can find this elsewhere on our YouTube channel. Let me also say, if you've made it this far, please subscribe and follow us here and on social media. But if you scroll through our channel here, right, I've tried to put together a library of videos about real estate and personal finance where we can really be a go-to resource for you as a home buyer in Massachusetts. Sure, occasionally I get off topic and I start talking about how Tom Morello is an overrated guitar player, or how I subscribe to the theory, in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Ferris isn't real, he's just a figment of Cameron's imagination. I stray off topic sometimes, but mostly it's real estate or money related, and I'm pretty good about keeping it relevant, I hope. You might be wondering why home ownership, at least in plain terms, is considered to be financially better than renting. A lot of it has to do with the asset value of a home, appreciating over time and adding to your net worth. Real estate, over the long term, and especially during periods of inflation like the one we seem to be in, its value goes up. But I wanted to add, many first-time buyers are eligible for tax credits, such as deducting mortgage interest, deducting PMI, deducting real estate taxes and prepaid points. These are huge benefits that you don't necessarily hear about all the time. Huge benefits to home ownership, and really just another reason to get on the house hunt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll say again, if you are a first-time home buyer looking in Boston or on the South Shore, I would love to work with you. It's one of the most rewarding parts of my job. I am actually very enthusiastic about it, and I've been through it. I know it's an emotional roller coaster being a first-time home buyer. So you can also see, home ownership didn't come easy to me. My earliest videos just here on this channel, they were more about getting out of debt than they were about home ownership. So I'm an open book, and there's no judgment about finances, anything like that. This is my business. I'm very lucky that I get to work with people on this stuff, and so I hope you feel like you can contact me with any questions whatsoever. Thanks again. Follow Power Realty Advisors on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. Contact me directly through our website, link below, or by emailing me at craig@powerrealtyboston.com.